Hello everyone, and we are continuing our training for Queenside pawn majority and how to get benefit of this middle game factor or yes, factor, and how to handle these positions. So we have this position now. So we have this position, and we are trying to find the correct plan or the correct strategy to play this position. So black played the last move, bishop to e6, and we have 3 pawns on the queen side against 2. And we have double rooks on the d5. So first idea is to advance our pawn to get benefit of this majority, and especially to prevent the knight from going to a5. Knight a5, knight c4, and we get in some trouble, maybe knight to e3, and forking the king, forking the rook and the bishop. So let's see the solution of this position as we think or not. Knight to c7, not so good because rook takes d2 and so on, exchanging rooks. So we are reducing our advantage, I think. So after bishop to e6, yes, it's b4. So now b4, preventing any kind of knight to a5, and also gaining more space on the queen side. So h6. So in case of knight to c7 instead, bishop to b3, attacking the rook. So now we are forced to exchange our rooks. Maybe knight takes a8, and bishop takes d1. So this is equal. f4 is bad because of bishop to g4 and also attacking our rooks. So this is weakening our position. King to f2, a5, somehow interesting for black, not the good move for white. So after b4, h6, maybe instead of h6, d7, rook to d7, and intending to double the rooks on the d5. Now knight to f4, threatening to take the rook, rook d2, knight e6 check, and rook takes d2, and maybe a little bit good for white, but the game still there is much more to be done. So now king to f2, bringing the king to the center, near to the center, and preparing any kind of exchanging of pieces. Rook to d7, and though knight to c3, now knight to c4 doesn't work because the rook on d7 takes the rook on d2 with check, so it doesn't work. So rook d2 check, rook d2, rook d8. So in case instead of rook to d8, a5. Like now black wants to take the initiative and start the action on the queen side. So this is not good for black because of d5, and now the knight is in trouble and our pawns getting stronger. So knight to e5, f4, threatening multiple pieces, e5 knight, d7 pawn, and could be very dangerous. So after f4, knight to c4, of course attacking the rook, and rook to d4, and this is advantage for white. Okay, back to the game. Rook to d8, rook d8, knight d8, f4. So we want to take on b7 maybe, and b5, c6, and so on. gf4, gf4, bishop to b3, preventing any kind of a4, but the knight is protecting, so I think it's not enough to play bishop to b3. So now king to e3. So of course activating the king, a very important principle in the endgame, and king to f6. And here is our second position, what to do in this position, how to get benefit of our advantage, how to realize this advantage and get more benefit from it. Bishop b7, knight b7, c6. Yes, of course I have rating, and more important, I am licensed and certified for coaching. So bishop b7, knight b7, c6, c6, knight to d6, and c7, and now threatening knight to e4, forking the knight and the king, so the knight must take and we can queen. Let's see if there is some response. So bishop b7, knight b7, c6, knight d6, c7, what to play, c7, bishop to e6, bishop to e6, preventing c8, my name is under my picture. My name is Tarraf, Tarraf. So but what to do with the bishop on b3? So the bishop on b3 is still there and can prevent our pawn from queening. Uh, Bishop b7, knight b7, c6, knight d6, knight b6, c7, bishop c6, f5, so maybe king to d4 first, king to d4, so this is the idea, is to sacrifice our bishop on b7, and then we can go c6, c7, and now maybe first knight to d5, knight to d5, bishop d5, bishop d5, and now we are threatening bishop to b7. So let's see, the solution is b5 first. Of course, it gives more strength to our attack and to control the c6 square. So after b5, now e5, what to do? Black almost in Zugzwang, but he wants to maybe reduce some pawns and get his king nearer to the center. So now instead of e5, maybe king to e6 and c6, and now our passed pawn is very strong. King to d6. Okay, now I'm in a training session. I'm going to check after my session. Okay, so king to d6, trying to prevent our pawn from queening. So instead, if pawn takes, king to d6, knight to b5, and followed by c7, and we can okay, you are welcome. So c6, bc6, knight b5, attacking, and now the king must move back because all the squares are attacked. So this is a very strong like barrier for the king, and the pawn can go straight to the queen square. Uh, Other variation, king to d6 and b6 now. Look to this beautiful uh, advance. So we are threatening both uh, or three threats. One, we are threatening to take on a7. We are threatening to take on b7, and we are threatening to push c7. Very strong attack from white. And now back to the game. In the game, e5 played, knight e4, attacking the king, of course, and the knight must advance to support the passed pawns, and this centralization of the knight gives white pieces a great activity and threats against black's camp. Knight to e4, king to e6, what to do? And now c6, very beautiful. And c6 also there is many threats, like first knight to c5, forking the king and the bishop. Second is to play pawn take, and in case knight take, then we can play our knight to discover check, and we can take the knight. So c6 played, ef4 check, it doesn't matter. And this kind of moves, sometimes the player under pressure play any kind of moves just to make a move, and maybe to confuse the opponent. King takes f4, b takes c6, knight c5. Okay, now we won the bishop. King to d6, knight takes b3, c b5, h4, knight c6, bishop h6. Of course, now it's easy for us to exchange the pieces and do not let the opponent get any counter chances. So bishop to c6, king c6, king g4. Of course, now the king going to take the pawn on h6, and the pawn, the h pawn is going to queen, and the knight is ready to stop other pawns. So before, of course, we can take king to b5, knight to d4, and now actually black resign, because it's now all over. So this is our first position. Let's see the next position. And also the next position is between two strong grandmasters, actually between two let's find the position. We are trying to find the position, and this is it. Let's see. And now it's white turn to play. We have 3 pawns against 2 on the queen side, and also you have to remember our topic now is the queen side pawn majority, so you have to concentrate on the queen side. But the bishop is trying to take on a2. The pawn on a2 is defended by the rook. It looks like already black is holding somehow, but there is a good chance to exchange the bishops. Our bishop is very bad, it's behind our pawns, so bishop to d3, trying to exchange the bishops. In case rook to d7, bishop to h7 check, and rook takes d7. So the bishop on b2 on b1 is forced to take on d3, and we are controlling the d5, and we have 3 pawns on the queen side, and our king will march to support the pawns on the queen side, and we can create a passed pawn. So this is the general idea. Let's see how the solution is going on. So first the player with white find a great idea. He played first a3, so activating the pawn on the queen side and preparing b3 to b4 to create a passed pawn. Also very logical. We don't have to exchange right away. So rook to b7, a5, then rook to d8 followed by rook to b8 is bad for black. Rook to b2, preventing the capture of b3 and attacking the bishop. Great idea. So first thing I thought about it is to exchange the bishop and to get an easy game. But the player with white is very strong and experienced player, and he knows that no need to exchange pieces if you don't have like a clear advantage or a clear benefit from it. So he find a better move like a3, preparing b4, and slowly he managed to expel the bishop from b1. So b4 now. Everything is prepared, so b4, if you don't take, we are going to take, why not? Or to advance to b5 and a4, a5. So the player b4, so king to f8. So now black realizes that he is going to need his king to defend the queen side. King to f8 and king f2. Also white getting his king near to the center. King to e7, king to e3, king to d7, bishop to e2, and maybe trying to play bishop to d1 and bishop to a4. Let's see. And the most important thing with the experienced player, he don't rush to play his plans. Just play and improve slowly. No need for rush, and especially in the end game. You don't need to play like the opening fast and prepare to and try to to race your opponent to get some space or to get some pieces developed. Now your pieces is like just two pieces or three pieces, so you have to keep them and try to benefit from them for the maximum. So king to c7, and now b5. Of course, now we're going to try to advance the a pawn. So b5, rook to b8. Now giving the way for the king to go to b6 and or to b7 and to push a6 and try to get the rook to the d file and prevent the king from going to the queen side. Rook to b8. So after, instead of if b6, if a6 played, so now a4, of course, ab5, ab5, and white could continue with rook to a2. So like generally it's easier for white. Back to the game, rook to b8, a4, of course, as we mentioned, f6. In case of king to b6, rook to d2, and we can try to penetrate to the black's camp, to the 6th rank or to the 7th rank. So a5, now our pawns are very strong. e5, rook to d2. So after somehow closing the queen side and our pawns somehow protected, now let's take control of the open file, the d file, and try to penetrate to the black's camp. So rook to d2, bishop to f7, and this is considered as the advantage for white, but you know, a good position cannot win alone. You have to play and to gain the position. So what to play in this position after bishop to f7? What's the plan? How to benefit from our good position? So as idea, and this is like principles. So when you are trying to play and you don't find like direct moves or direct threats or captures, so you have to formulate a plan and to try like to activate all your pieces. Like our king is very good, and we are trying to get him to the queen side and to a better place, and our rook is perfect, controlling the d file. So our bad piece is now not bad, like it's not good, but bad placed. So we can benefit or to regroup or to maneuver our bishop or to find a better place for our bishop. So if we play like f4, e4, king f4, and bishop to e3, so this is very good, but first we have to protect the c4 pawn. So f4, e4, king f4, but still I could not find like a clear advantage or clear win. So I'm trying maybe rook to c2. What to play? If rook to d8, e4, f4, e f4, king f4, rook d4, check. Not so good. So we are trying to keep our rook here in case of rook to d8, rook to d8, king to d8, b6, in case a b6, a6. No, it doesn't work because king to c8, a7, king to b7. So let's stick to the general idea. f4, e f4, king f4, intending bishop to f3. Let's see the world champion how he reacts to this position. f4, as we mentioned, of course he wants to gain more space and get to activate his king more. So f4. So we prepare bishop to f3 exactly to support the further advance of the queenside pawns, of course. E f4, king f4, rook to e8, check. Not check, sorry, rook to e8, trying maybe to take the bishop. Bishop to f3 and sacrificing the pawn on c4. Sacrificing the pawn on b4. So in case bishop to c4, bishop to c6, attacking the rook. Or rook to c2, attacking the bishop. Where to go? They cannot protect the bishop and the pawn on c5, so we can gain our pawn back. So now bishop to f3, bishop to e6. He didn't take, so this is too passive. First g5 would have been correct, so g5 first is better, but maybe he is preparing for g5. He don't want the king to advance. So okay, g5, sorry, bishop to e6. In case bishop to c4, rook to c2, bishop to d3, rook to c5 check, king to b8. So let's play this because it's a long variation. In case bishop to c4, rook to c2, bishop d3 attacking, rook c5, king b8, and now the position of the king, black king, is very passive. Bishop to c6, attacking the rook. Rook to d8. So the rook now almost is forced to stay on the back rank to protect the king. Rook to b8. Rook to d8, and rook now to c1, trying to go to e1 and e7. Somehow very dangerous. And of course rook to e1 after that. So back to the game. After bishop to e6, bishop to c6, attacking the rook, of course. b6 is an alternative, but it looks it's too early to play this, because all the pieces are protected in case of rook to d6 checking. So let's keep our forces, and this is the style of the white piece, the white player, is to keep his pieces and improve. Bishop to c6, attack. So there is analysis for the b6 advance. So king to b8 is good for white, or in case a takes b6, loses to a6, so we are going to queen, because our bishop protecting a8, and this is the importance of our bishop. So after a6, bishop to c8, trying to attack the bishop, the pawn. So a7, bishop to b7, trying to block our bishop, but there is like a very strong move from white. If you can find it, try to find the move now. Very strong move from white to gain the position. Rook to d7, excellent move. And now the king takes, bishop takes, and now we can queen, and we can take the rook, and actually we can win the game. So go back to the game. Bishop to c6, g5 now. King to f3. So the difference to g5 before the bishop e6 is that this square is now available to the king. Yeah. So rook to f8, bishop to d5, rook to d8, king to e3. Okay, you want to take, why not? Bishop to c8. So what happens if bishop takes? Bishop takes, rook takes, rook takes, pawn takes, king d6, king d6, king e4, c4, king d4, c3, king take, king take, king b4, king d6, king d6, a6. So our position is winning, I think, but you have to play carefully. So king to e3 and bishop to c8. Okay, black wants to keep his bishop. So after bishop to d5, as analysis, rook to d5, rook to d5, cd5, f5. White can win the pawn, ending with either b6. So now this is the clever idea: b6, ab6, a6. So the king cannot protect or defend against two pawns separated by two files. So now f5, f5, or 52 a6, as I mentioned, d6, king d6, and b6, of course. So back to the game: bishop to c8, rook to a3 to a2, fine. Bishop to b7, preventing any kind of protection or supports from the bishop on d5. Rook to d2, back. Rook to e8, check. So maybe f5 is better, but if f5, excellent move. Rook to d3, and now the plan for white is king to d2, to c3, h3, h4, g5, then finally a5, a6, and rook to h3. Of course, this is the general idea, but white must wait for black to play. So rook to e8, king to f2, rook to d8, g4, and now this is a good move, controlling and stopping the two pawns on h6 and f6. So after g4, bishop to c8, rook to d3. As mentioned before, the plan is h4 and rook to h3, rook to f8, trying maybe to advance, rook to e3, f5, gf5, rook f5 check, king to g2, and white is better. But instead of king to g2, king to g3 is better for white actually, because now if bishop to b7, he can exchange the bishops. So and now this is our next position. It's now black to play. Sorry, bishop to d7, and this is the position, and it's white to play. Like first of all, as standard thinking, you should think about, like, first of all, checks, captures, and threats. So now there is no checks and there is no capture, but we can threat to do something like rook to e7, and then like bishop to e6 or bishop to c6, and we can win the bishop. This is first idea. And second idea, maybe b6, ab6, a6, and in case rook to f8, a7, and we can queen. In case of bishop to c6, rook to e7 check, and this is a problem for black. So let's see, and as I mentioned, it's b6, so obvious. Checks as we speak, checks first, captures, and threats, and this is a check with threat to take on a7 and to queen. So b6, ab6 is forced, a6, and now big problem. In case of bishop to c6 blocking, rook to e7 as we mentioned, king to d8. So we don't care now about our rook actually, but we have to just calculate some variations. Rook to d8, rook to h7, so we don't have to give our rook. Rook takes d5, now taking the most important piece on the board. C takes d5, bishop d5, king f2, trying to prevent the advance of the b pawn and the c pawn. King to c8, also the black king to prevent the advance of the a6 pawn, and rook to h8, and sorry man, you cannot go back and prevent my pawn from queening. So now the king must go to c7 or d7, of course c7, and now a7, a8. So this is winning for white. In the game, king to b8, rook to e7, and now actually it's too late for black. Rook to e7, king a7, oh, giving the bishop. Bishop to d7. Look to white's patience. You don't like to take the bishop and give him the most important pawn. Like this pawn is very, very valuable. So it's for white, it's more important from a free bishop. So bishop take bishop to b7, protecting. Bishop to c6, check. So what to do now? We are forced to take the bishop. Bishop takes, king takes, bishop to e4, rook to f4, bishop to d3, and actually white won. So now let's see our last position. Trying to find the position and the game. Okay, this is the position in the game. Let's see. And let's go to the position. Let's see. And now it's white to play. This is the last position, the last move, castling for Queenside, for the black, and we must find the best continuation. So the best continuation, let's analyze and evaluate the position. So we have, as we are we have the topic for this session is queenside pawn majority. So we have the queenside pawn majority, 4 pawns against 3, but the pawn on d4 is somehow weak, and it's important to keep that pawn on d4 because it blocks the bishop on g7. So let's try to see the threats or the checks or the captures. So almost there is no captures. Knight to d4 is not effective because bishop takes, queen takes. So the idea is a4, preventing the advance of the a5 pawn and threatening bishop to a3. And after the queen move from c5, so we threat like rook to e1, attacking e7, like, and maybe knight to d2, knight to e4. This is the general plan. Rook to c1 and pushing the pawns. So there is many ways to improve, but because our topic is about the Queenside pawn majority, so we have to think about this. So I'm thinking a4, intending bishop to a3, maybe knight to d2, knight to e4, in case the pawn on b7 will be under attack, in case b6, so knight to d2, and also knight to b3. Now we can go back, or we can push. So we have the knight on d2 and the bishop on a3. The queen goes to maybe to c7 to protect. So rook to c1, trying to advance. d7, knight to d2, rook to d8, rook to c1, knight to c5, rook to e1, so now let's see the solution. a4, and I'm very happy because I'm thinking about this position, and I find the solution, not the whole solution, but at least the general idea. So a4, in this way white activates his pawn on the queen side. Of course, we keep our pawns together and preventing the advance of the a5 pawn to a4, and after that our pawn on a2 is weak and isolated. So now if rook to e1, also good, but not related maybe to our topic. So rook to e8, maybe black saw that bishop to a3 is coming. So in case queen to h5, like now changing sides and don't realize the threat for white. This is dangerous. So knight to g5, trying to exchange now. Bishop to g4, sorry. Bishop to g4, f3, bishop to d7, and then queen to e1. Fantastic. Followed by g4. Wow. So queen in c5, so rook to e8. Rook to e1. Slowly. We do not rush to play our plan like move by move. We can play it gradually and steady, slowly, without any we don't rush. Actually, this is the exact word that we don't rush, just slowly, steady, and we keep our control over the position. So rook to e1, bishop to f5. Of course, attacking the base of the pawn chain. But this is not for long. We can play knight to h4 actually. So bishop to f5, bishop to a3. Okay, as we planned. Queen to c7, c5, advancing our pawns. Okay, everything is protected. Rook a to d8. Why d8? I don't know, because the d4 pawn is not actually under attack. Already it's protected. Oh, maybe he wants to play like e6 and bishop to f8 and trying to take the pawn on c5 maybe. So rook a to d8. In case bishop to e6, trying to bishop to d5 maybe, yeah. Rook takes e6. Excellent move from white, actually sacrificing the exchange and destroying the pawn structure for black. And after that we have too many threats, like knight to g5, queen to e1 or to e2, bishop to h3 or bishop somewhere, attacking all against the weakness on e6. Yes, rook takes e6. Like this kind of moves is shocking. Now f take e6 and knight to g5. Excellent. So back to the game. Knight to g5 now. Also white don't like to accelerate his play or his moves or his plan. Just slowly, no rush. We are not under pressure, we are not under attack. We are holding the position, we are controlling the position. So why exchanging pieces without a big advantage? So let's play slowly. Knight to g5, pressuring against black camp. Knight to g5, bishop to f6, bishop to f6, knight to e4, sorry for that. So knight to e4, our knight is in good position. Bishop to g7, he goes back. Queen to d2. Excellent. Improving our position, improving our pieces, piece by piece, slowly, without rush. So queen to d2, knight to g4. Okay, what's the threat? No threat. Maybe he wants to regroup the knight to f6, trying to exchange maybe and release some pressure against him. Okay, so now we are starting to take on a5. queen to c8, queen to c8, and without heavy, without without rush, white slowly find the best moves. So this pawn cannot go anywhere. We can take it anytime we want. But let's look for the better moves. So white calculate and find excellent move, c6. c6, opening the diagonal for the bishop, and now the rook or on e1 or on a1 can go to c1, and we can move the knight from e4 and opening also the diagonal for the bishop on g2, and we are in excellent position, and it's too much to handle. So b takes c6, what to do? So in case queen takes c6, knight d6, attacking the queen, attacking the rook. The knight is protected by the bishop, so the queen cannot take, so the queen must move, and this is very dangerous. Knight to d6, queen b6, trying to gain some material. Knight d8, rook e8, rook a b1, queen a6, rook takes b7. Maybe bishop takes b7 better. Rook takes b7. Okay. Oh, okay. Pressure against the e7 pawn. So after b takes c6, queen takes a5. Thank you. We have two passed pawn now, and excellent position. Knight e5, threatening d3 pawn. Queen to d2. In case knight to c5, actually this is excellent move. Knight d3, b7, attacking the queen. Look to the power of the black's pieces and white's pieces and white's attack. So b7, queen b8. What to do? You have to block the pawn. Knight takes d3. Bishop takes d3, and bishop takes c6. And the rook is lost, or in case the rook moves, so bishop takes e7, and this is more difficult actually. Wow, strong position, very strong attack. So now back to the game. Queen to a6, trying to hold the two pawns, but it's too late. a5, the too strong passed pawn, more important now than the d3 pawn, of course. So knight takes d3. In case queen takes d3, trying to exchange the queens, and maybe thinking that he can hold the position. Queen takes d3, knight d3, a6, and very powerful passed pawns. In case knight takes e1, rook takes e1, b3. Also black wants to have his passed pawn in return, but it's easy to block this pawn. b7, bishop to d4, trying to block or to protect the a7 square. Rook to d1, in case knight to d2, blocking. e5. So not clear. Why give black some chances? Rook to d1, attacking the pawn. So easy. And our pawns are very strong. So rook to d1. Bishop a7, blocking. Bishop. Actually, there is another variation. Bishop to c5. Bishop c5, knight c5, d2, and bishop takes c6. Excellent. And after that, it's winning. Go to the other variation, knight to c3, e5, bishop takes c6, rook to e6, and this is unclear. After knight takes to d3 in the game, knight takes d3, in case bishop to f1, actually this is bad because of knight e1, bishop a6, knight f3, and this is maybe missed by white, but this is analysis. So in the game, knight to c5, knight to c5, bishop c5, queen b5. If d3 is better, actually, rook to a3, trying to block this pawn in all costs. Queen b5, bishop e3, c5, and this is a counterplay for black. In the game, queen to b5, bishop e7, rook to c8, bishop to f1. In case of d3, rook a to b1, all is protected and we can attack the queen. Queen c4 could be played. b7, rook b8, bishop d6, and this is winning for white. Other variation, queen a6, b7, rook b8, bishop d6, and also this is winning for white. Very strong attack for white. Also there is another variation, queen to b3, rook to a3, trying to attack the queen. So the queen goes to d5, e7, actually this is a real game, rook to b8, a6, very strong, bishop to c8, trying to get rid of the pawns at any cost. Thank you, b takes c8, queen, rook b takes c8, bishop g2, attacking the queen, queen to d7, bishop to c5, and now with this move the two pawns are isolated. Rook take e1, queen take e1, h5, a7, very strong, rook a8, queen e4. So we are attacking at all with all our powers. d3, no, rook takes d3, no, just opening the game without any reason. Queen b7, trying to have some counter chances, but as you know, it's too late. He thinks maybe queen c6, queen b8 check, and we take the rook. So queen c6 without fear. Queen b1, bishop f1. So we are protecting all our pieces. Oh, look. Oh, no, this is like spectacular games, moves, just for fun, maybe. Bishop takes, and actually black resigned. So this is our session for today about queen's pawn side, queenside pawn majority. Very beautiful games, very beautiful examples. Some plans, some general ideas to get benefit of our queenside majority, and how and how to play slowly, without rush, and protect our fast pawn at all costs. So thank you for watching, and see you next uh, session, and next training, and keep training. Of course, training is very good for chess. Bye.